Lights on the Ganga. The sky above the Ganga River was painted in shades of orange and purple, the colors of a perfect dusk. Diya sat on the wide stone steps of the ghat, her small feet dangling just above the sacred water. She loved this time of day. The air, thick with the scent of marigolds and incense, hummed with a special kind of magic. Below her, the river flowed, a wide, shimmering ribbon carrying secrets as old as time itself. Diya's grandmother, Dadi, came and sat beside her, her gentle presence as comforting as the evening breeze. Dadi's hands, wrinkled with stories, held a small basket woven from bamboo. Inside were fresh flowers and a tiny clay lamp, a diya, waiting for its moment to shine. "The river is waiting, little one," Dadi whispered, her voice a soft melody. Soon, the sound of bells, loud and clear, echoed across the water. The Ganga Aarti had begun. Priests in saffron robes stood on raised platforms, their movements a graceful dance as they offered prayers to the river. They held large, multi-tiered brass lamps, their flames reaching for the darkening sky, painting flickering patterns of light and shadow on the ancient stones of the ghat. When the last bell had faded into the night, Dadi took the small clay diya from her basket. She placed a cotton wick in the center, soaked it in ghee, and lit it. The tiny flame flickered to life, a small, bright star in the growing darkness. "Make a wish, Diya," Dadi said, her eyes twinkling in the soft light as she handed the lamp to her granddaughter. Diya held the diya carefully in her cupped hands. She closed her eyes and whispered a secret wish into the heart of the flame. Then she leaned forward and gently placed her lamp on the surface of the Ganga. It bobbed for a moment, then began its slow journey downstream, a tiny beacon of hope on the dark water. As Diya watched her diya float away, her heart filled with a quiet joy. But then she saw something else. Bobbing in the water, amongst the beautiful, flickering lights, were ugly, dark shapes. A plastic bottle drifted by, followed by a crumpled plastic bag. They were like sad, forgotten tears on the face of the river. Diya's smile faded. "Daddy," Diya whispered, her voice small and troubled. She pointed a small finger at the floating trash. "Why is Ganga Ma crying?" Dadi looked where Diya was pointing, and a shadow passed over her face. She sighed, a sound like the rustling of old leaves. "Ganga Ma gives us so much, my child," Dadi said softly. "She gives us water to drink, she helps our crops to grow, she washes away our worries. But sometimes we forget to say thank you. We forget to take care of her." Dadi's voice was filled with a deep love for the river and a deep sorrow for its pain. Diya looked at the river, at the lights and the shadows, the beauty and the sadness. A feeling of determination, strong and clear, rose up inside her. It was a feeling as powerful as the river itself. "I want to help," she said, her voice firm. "I want to make Ganga Ma smile again." The next morning, while the sun was still a soft glow in the eastern sky, Diya returned to the ghat. She carried a small fishing net, not for catching fish, but for catching something else. She carefully dipped the net into the water and scooped out a plastic bottle. One by one, she began to collect the sad, forgotten tears of the river. Her friend Rohan, who lived in a nearby lane, saw her and came running. "What are you doing, Diya?" he asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. "I'm helping Ganga Ma," Diya replied, not stopping her work. "I'm taking away the things that make her sad." Rohan looked at the river, then at the small pile of trash Diya had collected. He understood. Without a word, he ran home and came back with a net of his own. Together they worked, side by side, their small efforts a quiet promise to the river. The morning air filled with their laughter, a sound as clear and bright as the river they were trying to save. An old boatman who was mending his nets nearby watched the two children for a long time. A slow smile spread across his weathered face. He untied his boat and rowed over to them. "There's a big plastic bag floating over there," he said, his voice rough but kind. "Let me help you reach it." The boatman's kindness was like a pebble dropped in a still pond, sending ripples of change across the ghat. Other children saw what was happening and came to join in. Even some of the grown-ups put down their work and started to help, picking up litter from the steps and the water's edge. A small act of love was growing into a big wave of hope. That evening, as Diya and Dadi sat on the ghat once more, the river seemed to sing a happier song. The water, reflecting the colors of the sunset, looked clearer, brighter. There was still a long way to go, but a beginning had been made. A beautiful, hopeful beginning. Diya lit her diya and placed it on the water. Tonight, her wish was not a secret. It was a prayer for everyone, everywhere, to remember to love and protect the beautiful river that gave them so much. As her small light floated away, it joined 1,000 other lights, turning the Ganga into a river of stars, a river of hope.